Meeting's called to order. 6:05 p.m. June 13th, 2016. Rise for the invocation, pledge allegiance to the United States and Texas flag.
Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we are so thankful for the privilege we have of calling upon you. And Lord, we do pray for this meeting tonight. We pray, Lord, that you would lead and guide in our hearts and our thoughts. And Lord, help our decisions to be pleasing in thy sight and according to thy will. We pray, Lord, that it would be beneficial to our citizens individually, to our city corporately. Lord, help us to be mindful of the responsibility and that is ours tonight to serve with justice and to do those things that are right for everyone concerned. Lord, we pray that you would just go with us now. We thank you for the blessings of life and for the blessings to live in a country such as ours. We pray that you forgive us where we failed you and for our sins, for we ask it in Jesus' name, for his sake. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Roll call.
Joey McCarthy.
Here.
Brandon Thomas.
Here.
Rick Jordan.
Here.
Tom Brennenberg.
Here.
Amanda Willows. Here. Let the record show all present. Also present Mayor Bart Duton, City Attorney David Hamilton, and Interim City Secretary Tricia Smith taping the minutes.
Item 4, swearing in of council members. They have been sworn in previously today, so we're going to move on to item 6. The items in this agenda may be discussed and voted on in any other order by the presiding officer may prefer. Item 7, citizens may issue comments for topics that do not appear on this agenda. Is there anybody signed up for discussion? Regina Brown, 2100 North Post Oak Lane. Come on up to the...
Okay. I'm here concerning the flood in Post Oak Lane. We got a really bad flood and my house got flooded there. Not much it could have been worse, but that ditch, that's where I come from. You know, I don't know what y'all gonna do anything about the ditch. They say it's not our ditch, but who ditch is it?
Sure, it's just a name.
What is your name, ma'am?
Regina Brown.
Ms. Brown, this item is not on the agenda, and the law says in order for the council to be able to discuss it with you, it has to be on there. So you can state whatever it is that your complaint is, and then the council will decide whether or not to put it on the agenda at a later time or assign it to somebody on the staff, okay?
Okay, so
All right.
you'll put it on the agenda?
No, I didn't say that. They will decide whether or not to, but somebody will get back in touch with you and let you know what the deal is. So again, what's the deal? What's the problem?
I was gonna see if there's anything about that ditch flood, you know.
Okay.
And it's been going on. I've been there 34 years and nobody did nothing about it.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Larry, your item's on the agenda, so you can wait till we call it on the agenda.
Okay.
Phyllis Dickey, 2080 North Post Oak Lane.
for the same reasons that my house got flooded twice, plus my car. And something's got to be done about the ditch. You say it's not our ditch. I say stop it up. You said you can't do that. What'll I do? My house is destroyed right now. When it comes down the whole ditch, water comes down that ditch, and it's a pretty big ditch now. And as soon as it turns in the back of Mrs. Brown's house, it goes from a gallon to a quart, and it can't handle it, and then it backs up. And that's how it goes in my house. It comes over the road from across the street and everything. Something's got to be done. He was out there during the last flood, Mr. McCarty was. He says, oh, it's receiving just right. Yeah, I said, after it's been in my house. So, maybe I can get a lunch in it.
Thank you, Ms. Dickey.
Okay, we're gonna move on to item 8, consent item, discuss, take action on A, monthly bills and purchase orders for April and May 2016. B, minutes for April and May 2016 city council meetings. C, financial update for April and May 2016. Item D, monthly activity reports for April and May 2016 from 1, Police Department, 2, Public Works Department, and 3, Reno Volunteer Fire Department.
Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve item 8, A through D, 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve consent items A through D and 1 through 3 by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Jordan. All in favor?
Aye.
On to item 9, business, discuss, take action on A, electing a mayor pro tem to serve June 2016 to June 2017.
Mayor, I make a motion that we appoint Rick Jordan as mayor pro tem.
I'll second.
I'll move to approve Joey McCarthy. Nominate.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to appoint Rick Jordan by Councilmember Willows, seconded by Councilmember Brandenburg. We have a motion to appoint Joey McCarthy by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember McCarthy.
You get to be the swing.
That's kind of a pickle here.
Roll call vote.
Vote on each one separately.
Okay. We're gonna, for Rick Jordan,
Aye.
Aye.
for Joey McCarthy. We have a 3-1 margin for Rick Jordan. Moving to item 10B, 9B, consider ordinance variance at 5640 Lamar as requested by Larry and Stacy Young, owners, regarding Chapter 14 zoning, Section 6.003, off-street parking and loading requirements.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Young, 5440 Lamar. Here in the near future, my wife and I got plans for the lot that we own here on Lamar Road at 5700 Lamar, open up a 50-style burger place. We have most of our financing that's already been approved. We've got all our bids in. We already knew approximately what it's going to be. What we're seeking is the fact that the lot is approximately 210 feet long. Once the building is set back 60 feet, and then the building will be 60 feet, It'd be 120, and we would concrete back for the drive-through, which would get us about 2/3 of the lot, about 140 feet. So the back 70 feet, we're looking for a variance to do like the asphalt regrind, like Richard Drake pulls off the highway, so you don't have the dust. And we're just, before we proceed to spend several $1,000s getting our architectural drawings to bring to you, we wanted to make sure we could have a variance here for just the back part of the lot. We're gonna keep the drive-through and everything, in concrete and all the parking, of course. But it's just gonna push us out of our budget if we have to concrete the entire lot front to the back.
Where is it actually located at, Larry?
What's that?
Where is it precisely located?
About there next, between.
Where you got your
the shop
house
was
now?
and- No, the lot right here by Jason Scott.
Oh, between it and your old building?
Yes, that lot right there.
Okay.
Yes.
You said it was about 70 feet roughly of...
Yes, sir. My wife and I actually took a 200-foot tape measured out, and it's like 210 to the back of the property. But we sold the back half of the lot to North Texas Fab, so we've got half the lot left. This will probably, I think, to be accurate, like 212 foot. So if we set back our 60 foot from the curb, which is, we have to have, then we're gonna have the building going to be a 32 by 60. Then we figured another 20 foot for drive-through on the back. So we figured approximately 140 to 145. So we're looking at approximately 70 feet there in the back and all the way across, with the lot, I think it's 115 wide at the back. So it'll be about 70 to 115 we want to use to regrind.
Yeah.
We realized that, gravel will decrease dust, but the regrind won't. I've seen several driveways that have been done with it. Keeps down so.
It sets up like concrete, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If it's put down in the summertime when it's really hot, it still has enough oil, factor in it that will set it really well. Yes, sir. It won't be just like asphalt, but it won't be like gravel either. It won't have the dust. Yes, sir.
That's kind of auxiliary parking.
Right. I mean, if you have some trucks, like, for example, my son-in-law from Mark County Electric, if they were to pull out their trucks, they can pull in the back and park and have a place to turn around without any issues. But we plan on having an entrance and an exit, one way in, one way out, the way the building's going to be set. So,
And all that's going to be concrete.
all of that will be concrete, all the way back from the property line back to approximately 140 to 145 feet. It'll be concrete and all the way from side to side, entire concrete, sure. It's just the back part beyond the drive-through, so that we're seeking a variance on.
I think P&Z approved this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That approved it.
Unanimously.
You went
Yeah.
completely, yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Attorney, we've had issues with the neighbor to this side, as far as codes enforcement. How, if we grant this variance, how would that affect us in the issues that we have there with Advance?
None.
Okay.
It's just a completely separate deal. As I understand it, this is a request to change the surfacing back there, not to shrink anything down or not things parked on the right of way. It's I'm going to put a different kind of surface down than the ordinance requires. So, and here's what it is, and here's what's going to happen. So if you approve a different kind of surface, at least for that portion of it, that's a different deal than what's going on with the neighbor, I think.
But it's still on surface, right?
Yep. If it's, so long as it's waterproof and impervious, hold the weight.
I don't have really an argument against it. If I'm not mistaken, I think when Miss Nina was put in, the same kind of variance was done on the backside of her place, because it's gravel back behind Nick, so.
What did the P&Z approve? Just the variance for the off-street parking?
this right here, in your briefing sheet that I included, the bottom section down there is the actual ordinance that he's here for. In planning and zoning, they completely agreed to what he's suggesting that he does. And it's basically to put the regrind down on the back half, because he's gonna have concrete on everything except for the very back half. And that regrind is what they were concerned about. You know, because if you want to be able to get vehicles back there, need to be, or emergency vehicles, and you will be able to on that. So that's what they're asking permission.
So, and also, Tricia said that the back half, and really, in reality, it's going to be about a third of the lot.
Would it be past the back of your building
Oh, yes.
now?
So for the building will end, then we're going to have the drive-through concreted. We come around the back. You come in on, let's just say the building's standing here at 82, here you're going to come in this side and come around the drive-through on this side. So it will be approximately, we're going to say approximately 20, 25 feet beyond the building for the drive-through to stay in concrete.
Okay, on the back,
On the back of the building, yes, sir. So we're estimating it probably about 145 feet where the concrete would stop. And of course, our drawings would have it to what it will actually be, but we're just estimating at the moment.
And there's no building right there now, right?
No building?
Building.
Oh, no, sir, that's just empty lot there. There's never been nothing on it. Since I've been coming through Reno.
And we're being asked to approve the parking before the building, or do we even approve the building?
later on, after.
Because we're in variance right now for his budget.
He's just planning ahead. He's come in and asked many questions to make sure he's in compliance with the state codes and our city ordinances. So he's starting off in the right direction instead of...
We just got to avoid, like I said, it's several, of course, thousands of dollars for architecture drawings and so forth, then come to y'all and you say, sorry, can't help you. You know, we just tried to look ahead. Like I said, Tricia's been so helpful to us. She has found out numerous things for us. And
So we need a motion to approve the variance. I'll motion that we approve variance at 5640 Lamar for Chapter 14 zoning, Section 6.003.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve the variance by Councilmember Brandenburg, seconded by Councilmember Willows. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 9C, appointing 3 individuals to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission, June 2016 to June 2018.
We've contacted each of these individuals, and they all said that they are interested in still staying and remaining on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Do the three of us just need to appoint one, or?
No, not
we
for the
just-
planning and zoning. They're just, basically, we've been lucky enough to be able to carry the same people over with many years of knowledge and
Right.
experience. You know, they're very helpful and want to remain on. So they go on for 2-year terms, and it's just accepting them to stay on. If anyone, if there is ever an empty seat, then they would appoint someone for that seat, and recommend that to you guys, and you would approve it after that.
Okay. Well, I move to go ahead and appoint Lance Nicholson, Jeff Kinslow, and Bill Arnold to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission for June 2016 to June 2018.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Brandenburg, to retain Lance Nicholson, Jeff Kinslow, and Bill Arnold on the Planning and Zoning Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, appointing 2 individuals to serve in the Street Commission, June 2016 to June 2018.
Same thing here.
Ronnie and Williamson.
Yes.
Well, I'll make a motion to appoint the two individuals, Ronnie Nutt and Wendell Kinslow,
to the street commission for June 2016 to June 2018.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember McCarthy, seconded by Councilmember Willows, to retain Ronnie Nutt and Wendell Kinslow for staying on the street commission from 2016 to 2018. All in favor? Item 9E, appointment of Economic Development Commissioners by 1. Mayor Jeton, 2. Councilmember Rick Jordan, 3. Councilmember Joey McCarthy, and 4. Councilmember Brandon Thomas.
Do you remember who we have appointed last year?
I believe so. Brandon, last year you appointed Sandy Fernandez, and she said she's fine with staying on. Joey appointed Reggie McDowell, he is fine with staying on. And Rick Jordan appointed Jeff Wright, and he's also fine with staying on.
I'm going to reappoint Jeff Wright. Mayor.
I'm going to appoint Sandy Fernandez.
And I'll appoint Reggie McDowell.
I'm going to appoint Larry Young. Item F, adopting Reno crime control and prevention budget for fiscal year 2016-2017.
Do we need to just go ahead and table this? I would say, wouldn't it?
I don't think you've got much choice.
Mayor, I move to go ahead and table adopting the Reno crime control and prevention budget for the fiscal year of 2016 through 2017.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Jordan, to table motion, the item 9F. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9G, City Council and/or City Attorney to attend TML newly elected city officials conference.
I want to get something out of it. I'm nearly as smart as I need to. I'll go to Granbury.
Granbury.
If y'all want to make a motion to approve it, allowing you guys to go, I'll send you wherever you want.
I move to go ahead and approve the city council and/or city attorney to attend the TML newly elected city officials conference.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember McCarthy, to approve item 9G. All in favor?
Aye.
9H, Sanitation Solutions price increase request.
I'll let you all know, this was brought into us by an employee that works for Sanitation Solutions, and he is asking for this price increase from $8.14 to $8.55 per polycart. And included in this packet is a rate comparison sheet, and it just shows what everyone else is paying right now, and we're very far behind what everyone else is paying. So,
A lot of this too, if you look at the reason why we're so far behind is because we don't have, like, let's say, let's just take bales. Well, they would have to leave Paris, drive all the way to Bales, pick up trash, and then bring it all the way back here. That's the reason why, let's say that Bales is $12.52 compared to ours at $8.14. But when does our contract end with them? Did it say?
I don't have a copy of the contract in here. It'll expire the first day of May 2018.
And of course, what they put on here is that they want to approve, for 5%. And because of increases in liability insurance and Obamacare, truck cost, landfill cost. Personally, I think that they should have taken all of that into factor whenever they had the original contract done.
On the contract.
That's kind of the reason why you get a contract, is so one side cannot increase on the other.
So this is an increase over their current contract.
And if I figure it right, they're asking for about $6,300 a year more at 5%. So for the next 2 years, you're $12,500 roughly. And I'm all for in 2 years, whenever their new contract comes up, to negotiate with them on it. That's what it's for.
On the rate comparison sheet, is that based on once a week, or the Bales and those other towns is twice a week, or do we know the
You don't know?
frequency on that?
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know on that one.
It'd be once a week on a small town like that. It'd be once a week.
And I look at it like this. I don't have a problem with them asking for 5%. That's fine. But I know that if we went to them and said, hey, for the next 2 years, can y'all cut it by 5% for us? And no, you got a contract. So. It's 41 cents per container increase. So.
How are we billed on that? I see we pay once a month. Do we submit totals to them? Or
Utility billing, we keep up with trash accounts, and it shows how many trash accounts we have. And then we submit those numbers to them at the end of each month so they can send us the billing per card.
It's pretty much a cart per,
I'm sorry?
our average billing is 1 cart per meter.
Some people have 2, but they have to pay for it. If it's $8.14 for 1 cart, they're going to be paying double that. Another thing to keep you guys aware of is we have trash tax that we have to pay monthly.
That what now?
We have a trash tax that we pay monthly. So
What do you mean we pay?
What's that all about? Is it
What
paid to the
kind of-
state?
we have to send that into the comptroller each month. It's just a figure, and I can't remember right off the top of my head exactly what the number is, but it's like 1,300 something polycarts is what we get, and they have a percentage. There's a county tax, city tax. I'll send that to you guys if you want more
About how much
information.
is it?
Each month it's around $1,200.
That we pay a tax?
Yes.
The city?
The city does. To the comptroller. We have to pay the IRS taxes on payroll, everything.
Right, well, I knew that.
Yeah.
For having trash.
Yeah.
Generating trash.
It's the same amount every.
No, because it fluctuates depending on how many customers may leave us, or if we gain more customers, it fluctuates.
We pay we're taxed by customer, not amount. All right.
Sorry, I should have gave you all more information before the meeting. I just
No,
found that
that's-
myself.
Well, that's something totally, off from what this is, so.
Harvardville pays $9.80 compared to Bell, was paying $12.52.
Yeah, and that's a totally different company. I was just going off of the sanitation
Really, there is
solutions.
the
They're actually
landfill, the distance from the landfill.
Right. And
Which that one probably is at North Texas on 121. So,
Yeah, well, that's our, well, what about Dennis?
Yeah. To our city, sanitation 1106.
like I said, that's a long way to drive every day to pick up trash. So,
Are they adding any kind of bucket services for this?
I haven't seen any other changes, just us.
So they're not adding any services if we approve this?
None that I'm aware of.
Just rate increase on it.
$6,300 a year.
Get the couch I need you.
It's an additional action.
But
Do we have a motion?
I move that we don't approve the sanitation solutions price increase request.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember McCarthy, to not approve sanitation solutions price increase request. All in favor? Move to item 9I, change order number 3 for radio red water meters.
This is another one of our change orders. I've got to keep y'all in the loop on this radio read meter project. These were just some that came up at the end we were a few short on. Just additional meters. We need some that were in billing that didn't get counted. About 7 or 8 of them are actually new houses that have been built since they started this project. We need the meters for. So, actually 13 of these meters we put in the ground already in there, so I left about 7 over for just extra to have on hand to finish this project. So, just basically. All the meters are installed. Except for one we're waiting on, a different type of meter for car wash as well. They're still having to put the radio system up, but as far as the meters in the ground, that's done deal.
But besides the diameter, what's the difference between the ones that cost $27 and the ones that cost $185?
Well, no.
Is there any?
What they're showing here is actually, that's the installation number. 27
Oh.
meters that they're charging for them.
Okay, that makes more sense than that.
I didn't think we had any for 27, but yeah, that's just the installation price.
Well, yeah, I just saw like 20 of them at $185 and 13 at 27.
What about the difference in the size?
There are some differences out of it. They do go up considerably. These are residential meters here, not house meters. Not business meters or anything, wholesale meters or anything like that.
We've already gone ahead and paid for most of it, haven't we?
Yeah, we paid,
For all of us, it is.
I don't remember, for 3.
We paid 3 different times.
3
I don't
jobs.
remember the total, 232 maybe.
232,000.
I think pretty much for the installation of the meters, all the meters are paid for. That side of it is, we're down to some software, some training, and to locate and put up the antennas and repeaters. That part still, we have to pay for that for 7 months. That's still probably a week or 2 away from getting that done.
Will there be a time in the future, Jerry, where you guys will have the meters on hand and actually be able to install them yourselves, or they're always going to have to come in?
We can, once we get everything done and we do all our training on everything, we'll be able to install these meters. I mean, we can install them now, but they're here for as far as warranty reasons. They're going to install all of them before the contract's up, so they'll have a warranty on them. But after you get these meters installed, it's not necessarily a meter that you have to change out. It's just the programmable head on top of it. So it's a lot easier and it's less expensive to change out the meter. So the bottom part's just a piece of brass.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve change order number 3 for the regular reading meters.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Councilmember McCarthy, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve change order number 3 for radio red water meter. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9J, cost estimate to improve parking at Reno Kiwanis Park, including fence work.
Just something I was asked to look into a couple months back maybe. It's next to the existing parking lot that we have there now. We're looking at extending that parking lot over, give us more room for parking basically, because we just don't have enough room over there right now for them. There's practices going on, soccer, baseball, all different things over there. People are parking down the roads, and this is one of the main reasons for doing this, kind of just traffic control for one.
The gravel 1,500. Does that go to those trees, or does it go to that existing fence?
It'll go to, the gravel right here will go match, that's enough gravel to match it where the parking lot is on the other side now.
Also not even halfway.
Right. That'll, and we'll bring, just like we have now, posts and everything down, change it over, and nobody can drive through into the park. The other part, we're gonna level that up a little bit in there, and there's several different ideas that have been tossed around about what they wanted to do at that little section there. So, but yeah, that was just to take it straight across from where the parking lot is now, all the way over to the other property line. It's basically gonna double the parking.
Right.
And the fence will be on the southern edge of the new parking lot? Or is you gonna bring that
on the west side of the park. Yeah.
total property line?
We'll be running north and south, and that's the east end of it. And we'll put posts up to block off the other section and hook it to the existing parking lot now. And that way it all looks the same. Looks like it's supposed to.
And the markers, that's just for the fence, right? I mean, the stop, yeah.
Poles and chain.
Right.
Where we put through, yeah.
Okay.
How much do we have in the budget?
You were gonna ask that.
Park,
You know off the top of your head?
No, but I had it for your trade.
About $6,500 is where we're at right now. We spent about $1,500 so far.
So we've got enough, more than enough.
Yeah, we've got plenty to do this.
Couple thousand left over, about double. Yeah.
I'm excited to see that we need this, that we need more parking there. I love seeing how many people are using our park. I think it's definitely a safety issue also.
Absolutely, yeah.
All the flavor on all this will be, we'll do it in-house.
Oh, y'all gonna do it?
Yeah, we'll do it.
What about, even if I donated it all myself to put sinks and everything in there, or have it like remodeled where you have a sink to wash your hands and everything.
Bathrooms?
And it needs that desperately. You got commodes and everything, but no place to wash your hands.
I wouldn't think anybody would turn anything down if it was donated.
No.
Oh, it needs that.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the $2,376 for the gravel and fence and the markers for the improvement at the Reno Kiwanis Park.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Brennenberg to approve the amount of $2,376 to improve the parking and fence work at the Reno's Kiwanis Park. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9K, approve amendments to the city secretary job description bonding requirements.
For the bonding requirements, I just thought I'd mention to you guys that I did find out that all of the City of Reno employees are bonded. They're under a blanket bonding policy. So just wanted to throw that out there and let you all know. I know that's a question last time we were meeting about this.
Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve the amendments to the city secretary job description and bonding requirements.
I'll say.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember McCarthy to approve amendments to the city secretary job description and bonding requirements. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9L, update on time management system.
All right. In front of you, you all have plenty of paperwork there to look at. And just to let you all know, I tried to do a little bit of a homework before the last May meeting, and I contacted several small cities around nearby, close to our same size, just to see if any of them might use any of them. And I tried calling Honey Grove, Bonham, Clarksville, Cooper, Commerce, Paris. They all use their own time sheets. So, sorry, I tried with them first. But I reached out to some other companies. We have Time Track Systems. This is one, and it kind of just shows you some examples of what they have here and how much they're going to charge per active employee and for the setup fee. There's an email attached to it because we tried to reach out to some of them and try to see if they could share some of the customers and clients that they have that use this software, but they didn't have anyone that they couldn't share their clients' information, so they're protecting them on that. So, the other one that is here is the bigger, thicker packet. It's Veriflock. They have a lot of information in here, and the email that they sent, they have some pretty big companies that use this. They have Holiday Inn, City of Nashville, which is the Nashville Community Education Department, Elite Medical, some fire departments, Pegasus Building Services, and these are a lot of big companies that you just can't reach out and find the right person to talk to about this. But they did say that they named some of their customers anyway. And looking into this, on this page that says the monthly pricing, it shows how much they have for a basic plan, or if you wanted to add something on, and it's the price per user, that's per employee. The thing that I like about it is they have a 30-day free trial, so we can try it to know if we're actually going to like it and if we can actually get through to their tech support if needed. Sure. There's no startup fees, no contracts. It all seems pretty user-friendly.
So, but they don't have like a time clock that would be, let's say, in the building. Is that right?
Right. Now, it did say that they have unlimited smartphone clock-in, so I'm sure there's an app that you can download for that.
No. I mean like what we have on the wall right now.
No.
Where this one does.
Right.
Well, I would think we would need something because
I was thinking more, of course, these ones that we're looking at, they're a hosted service. I was thinking more or less, we buy a package that has a clock and software to go with it, and we keep it in-house. Not by, that will still give us some of the features, or most of the features that we have here. I mean, they're just offering to host it.
Okay, well, I
Like
can look
outside.
further into this, that's not a
Yeah,
problem. I just wanted to be able to give you something.
That way, there's no user fee or,
by the month.
yeah, anything.
Okay.
Because we do.
Well, I can continue to look for that, no problem.
Yeah, I think.
But if you like that one, we can find out which one you like.
Well, we can continue to look first, just to see, and compare them all before we actually
Yeah.
go with one.
Item N, city administrator's job description. Hold it,
No, we missed one.
we missed one. Item M, update on the public works building.
Last time we discussed this, I had the drawing we came up with. You can sit down with the architect and drew up. Since then, we've got from Hayer Engineering a request or a bid proposal, I guess, for, do you have that by chance?
It may be in the last month's packet.
I didn't see it in my packet. I didn't know if they were looking at it or not. But
No, I don't have it in.
with the engineering fees, architectural fees, to build that building, design it and build it, we're looking somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000. And that's pretty much where we're at right now.
From the ice storm, we got the refund of $250,000.
Right, I have the
So
$250,000.
we roughly could have half of it. Excuse me.
What?
We roughly could have half of it
Yes.
on hand
We could probably do some
From that-
tweaking to make sure that we have half
from
of it.
that refund.
And that's just basically a rough estimate from them. I don't know. I guess that's as close as. they
Who's the
can get to an
contractor?
estimate. See what?
Who's the contractor?
There's no contractor yet. That's just what they, going by scale, what other contractors are doing for certain things for at this time. That's how they figure that. They're coming up with a ballpark figure for that. So this, the next step for us to do if we want to proceed is to go, is to give them the okay if we want to draw the plans up. And then that's when we can, once we get the plans and all that drawn up, we can go out for bids or which direction we want to go with it. But as it is right now, they're just waiting to hear back whether we want to proceed to have plans drawn up.
How big is the building? Roughly?
50 by
120?
120, something like that.
Well, it's certainly something we've needed for quite a while. Y'all working out of adverse conditions out there. I had more in mind. I was thinking more, we discussed this earlier, around 300,000, 350,000, but I'm not a builder and I don't know
You could build,
just what,
you could build it a lot cheaper than that. For like 200,000
I don't
easy.
know exactly how much the
what?
engineering fees and architectural fees. And
That's all included in it too.
Yeah.
That's all included in it too.
yeah, that's all included in there too. And when you go talking architectural fees and engineering fees,
engineer, and that drives
20% probably,
Or more.
or more.
And I think the question probably is, I think the state requires us as a public entity to have engineer and architect.
Do you,
So we can't get around it.
Right.
And that, no doubt, is what drives that cost.
it is. It's like any project we do as a city,
Square footage, yeah.
that's where we're at. That's what we land in that government.
So,
Trout? Go ahead. You say it.
But that's where we are at this point. That's not saying that I can't look at the building and see if there's some things that we can maybe change or save a little money and do some things like that. There's a few things that we probably can, but not.
There wouldn't be enough to make a difference.
We're gonna spend that money and just have that meeting.
When you get everything cleared, I mean, get the whole way cleared to build the building and you put it up for bids, it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be near that. I've been doing this for 30 years. It's not gonna be even close.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm not a builder. I'm just going by what an architect and an engineer is telling me. And I don't know how exactly they come up with those figures, but that's what they come up with. So, I mean, even at 500 to 600,000, that's a pretty wide range. But, it's a big ballpark number. So, I guess what we need to do is, if we want to go forward with it, is if we decide that's what we want to do, then we're going to have to let them go ahead and draw the plans out, design the building.
We're gonna have to have the plans anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to have the plans.
To get any kind of pricing, we're gonna have to have that.
Did you say you had a price on that? Did you have a price on that?
As far as architectural fees and design, we do, it's on that.
I can go look. I'm sorry, I think I had it with the last month's packet.
I mean, that might be something we get. Well, we need to know. And then, if it's available, then we can go ahead and, like next month, prove that and get that going.
We can have the back here by the meeting next month, the plans and all, and the price.
Right.
Well, what they'll do is, what we'll have to do is once we get the plans drawn out,
Bids.
then we'll have to go out for bids.
Yeah.
Which will take, I think you gotta give them, if I'm mistaken, it's 30 days. They'll have to put it in the paper.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
We've got your plans already, don't we? Is that what you want to look for?
Preliminary.
That's just a preliminary drawing. It doesn't have any specs on what kind of flooring, ceiling, tile, wall, any of that in it. So that's kind of where we're gonna go. Which I told them to figure it, just plain Jane over the walls, fancy walls, everything like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we had that in the packet for last week, because I left here and heard it.
Well, I know last year, at this time, we were sitting here talking about getting a building.
Yeah.
Or actually, the year before last, at this time, we're talking about it. That year came and went, and nothing got really done on it. And then this time last year, we said, well, budget time's coming, we'll figure out something. And then, yeah, here we are again, another year later, and still nothing. But
Something's got to be done.
we have to, of course, find the money for it, which that's what's coming. So that's what I'm saying, if we can find enough right now, which I'm sure we can, to go ahead and get that done.
We have $250,000 that we can use for this project. Money that was brought back to the system, so I'm just taking that for the house.
Let's
Use that for, best I can tell, if I can use it, we can use it at the other section of this project.
We have a couple of financing options for
Right.
the balance, or however much we want to finance, or need to. It's not as much as I thought it'd be.
Oh, yeah, 1,300, 1,400. Yeah, I thought there'd be an extra zero.
Yeah.
I've never had to have anything like this done on that scale. So, from Deanie, right? That's correct.
1,395, 1,400.
Or this is not what we owe them right now, is it? There it is.
Yeah, that's.
Never
that's
mind.
what we already paid them.
That was for this.
That's for that door right there.
He found the other zero.
He found the other zero.
That's a zero.
That's what I was afraid of. That's what I thought, something like that.
The total on this is $41,760.
Draw the plan?
To draw the plan.
Architectural engineering plan.
Where do I go to school for this?
Which I know when they did this building, I remember it being
That's more than I thought.
plus,
This is for, well, it's also for the engineering part.
but yeah.
So, because it's for the structural, mechanical,
It's for the
civil,
job, yeah.
engineering part of it. The architectural would be 18,000, and the rest would be the engineering. Well,
Probably about par for the course.
yeah, it probably is. But you're saying this right here, we need to get bids on, right? Or not?
No, the building itself, once you get.
Right, but the plans we don't have to put out,
Yeah, the plans, you go out for bid for the plans.
so we do. Okay.
Yeah, once you get the plans, you gotta draw the plans.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the architect and engineering, wouldn't go out.
Well, this is, of course, is Hayter.
Denny Architects.
Denny Hayter's engineer, and Denny's architect here, yeah. The
Didn't we have an engineer somewhere, Tyler?
Athens,
Athens?
Hendricks, Tyler Hendricks, he got one.
They don't have an architect.
No.
So you can't just get a building from Mueller Supply that's got a,
You can, and you're gonna have to pay that still. I mean,
the building that comes from Mueller Supply got an architectural stamp on it. This comes with the plan. It's everything. I mean, you're talking about, you buy the building for what that costs.
well,
You buy the building for $10 a square foot and get erectors that are insured and everything to install it for
and that,
$8 a
and
square
that might
foot.
be something we need to look into.
This is
But-
$83 a square foot.
Right, the only thing that we'd have to have then done would be the engineering specs on, I guess, the concrete, slope, drainage, that.
That's a big portion of what
Right.
The concrete can
Well,
be
that's why I was looking at
certified.
the mechanical part was like 12,000.
The concrete can be certified.
I guess what we need to find out is if we, like such as Mueller, if they're using a, so to speak, an in-house architect that stamps
They
those
do.
buildings, if that's gonna suffice
Right,
for us as an architect.
As a city, for a city.
right. And I don't know why it wouldn't.
You think you can contact
The buildings
them?
you're talking about, are they, do they have anything in them, or is it just buildings?
It's just a
It's
shell.
just a shell,
So we'll still have to
an
pay.
insulated shell. It would be an insulated shell, and then you know,
You design it the inside.
what you're talking about.
Want.
A building 6,000 square feet, it would cost $40,000 install, the complete building.
I don't know anything about it. I've never dealt with one of them, so.
And they might have something along the lines of what the plans are, that she has, that has offices in it,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, they make buildings like that. We do stuff in them all the time.
Right.
The cotton gin over there, Mueller Supply is just an example of one.
Right.
There's several suppliers of buildings that, Harrison Walker, they use buildings that they ship in on a truck. They're stamped. It's just, it's a lot of money for such a small building.
I know, it's awful.
Well, how many square feet is in the building, Jerry? Do you know that we're proposing?
6,000 square feet.
6,000 square feet. If you're talking about $60 a foot, $50 a foot, then you're talking about $300,000 there. You can build a shelf for $50 a foot.
Oh, you can build a shelf
Yeah,
for 15.
yeah, 50, yeah.
Insulated.
And,
That's $83 a square foot at $500,000. That's a lot.
that's turnkey
Yeah.
with architect and engineer cost included.
Question.
Bathrooms, toilets, and toilet paper, ready
Once
to
you
go.
get the building,
Ready to go.
if you get the building you're talking about and just have it erected, as far as the inside work of the building, do we have to have that architecturally drawn?
But that's what I was saying.
No.
Maybe if we kept our fingers crossed, they'd have something like that.
No, you wouldn't have to have it in the interior.
You'd have to have an architect, probably.
Not for the interior. Just have to be
I'd hope.
ADA and all that. But you don't have to have an architect for putting something inside a metal building.
I do not know the answer to that question, but I'm sure there are some people that do.
It'll probably be like, if it has air conditioning, then it's this, or if it has, two bathrooms, it's going to be this. Hopefully not.
Nobody be in
They
business.
say, yeah.
Yeah, but this is all for cities.
I mean, we didn't have this.
And that's what's the bad part. They do it to the cities only.
Government in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Your
like,
city inspector, he should know.
right.
So we need to find out if we do go ahead with getting the plans drawn up between now and the next meeting, we need to find out how we're bound by having an architect and engineer.
I mean, I know how we're bound by that part, I just don't know as far as the building, they're talking about this, trying to do the other prefab building.
Well, if their architect that they have, according to...
I mean, I know their architects
That's going to
understand.
suffice, that they...
I mean, I can find that out and we can go from there. I mean, it's not,
What we,
it'll take that
yeah,
much more.
but what we really need to find out is, do we have to hire an architect and engineer for the interior of the shell? So,
I can contact a couple of those places, get on that and see if they have something available.
yeah, I mean, contact and see what they got. Throw a couple prices at you or something. Ask them, if they have anything with offices on the inside designed up.
Some of these places, Mueller being one of them, if you call them, want something outside the building, somebody will come up here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what's wrong. So, that might be something we can do. I just didn't know, you're talking two different sections there. You're talking about a building and then the inside of the building.
Right.
So I guess that's what we need to figure out. How will we get on that?
And they very well may have, if you buy the building from them, they may have an architect in-house such as designs the interior of the buildings out of it.
The reason this building, for one, is the cost went up, the way it looks, it went up. As we originally started this project, I was told to make this building look just like this building. So that's one of the reasons it's architecturally designed, or gonna be. So, I mean, these other buildings aren't gonna match this building, so, I mean, we may be able to move it, put it in a different area or something too, to make it work a lot better.
I mean, you go with like a tan metal or something, that kind of match.
Yeah.
Well, that was the desire, that it look at aesthetically like this building, instead of having a metal building here and a metal building there. And I mean, and I thought that would be good, when we talked about it, that if it could all look, it wouldn't look like a building popped up here, a building popped up over there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is we're the building, we looked at putting the building because it looked like this building, I mean, just right in line with this building right here.
Yeah.
We're probably not gonna want just a metal building sitting right here beside it, so we can turn it another way or move it to a different area or whatever we need to do. So didn't look that way. It looked like there was a shop hooked up to the side of City Hall, and so they were concerned about that.
Well, come
That
down
gives us
to
more
it.
options.
Like I said, come down to it, you can pick whatever color metal you want, you can trim it the same color as this building, you can brick the front of it.
Rock the front of it?
You can rock the front, I mean, when you start talking about that, at the cost that we're gonna spend, it's not that much more to do something like that. So,
Just give the options. We could
right,
move it to the other end of the yard, for all that matters.
right.
But, because we're gonna free up some space on that side when we do it. Just overall. Okay, I'll look into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to item 9N, City Administrator Job Description.
I just included the same thing that we had last time we talked about this. Did you have the same thing?
Didn't we end on qualifications or?
I think so. You're gonna have to refresh my memory, and I can listen to the whole tape for the last workshop too, just to catch up. But on the one that, Joey, the one that you did, I had a note on the second page, that last paragraph, and then the next page, that paragraph. I know that you guys did one in that section for sure.
For the qualifications from when we ended last time. I could be wrong with it. Or experience.
I can't remember.
It's been a minute. A month or two. Yep. Qualifications and experience. Or yeah, I still stay strong. I'd like to see them have a strong background in city government.
Like that right there, she wrote in with a preference in city administration or municipal government. On a
Where you at, Brent?
Somerville. Fact sheet.
Somerville.
Basically, it says bachelor's degree in public administration, business administration, or management, plus at least 2 years of progressively responsible experience in public administration or related field. And then with a preference in city administration or municipal government.
You all want that?
Yeah.
eligible for that. You're not tied to it, you just have a preference there. If you got somebody that's qualified in other areas and has experience, you could go with them. You wouldn't have to. So, preference.
Which is like you said, it's still a preference.
Yeah.
And we're not substituting any type of experience in the field for that.
So you do want that bachelor's degree in public administration, business administration, or management, plus at least 2 years of progressively responsible experience in public administration or related field, or with a preference in city administration or municipal government?
I think the or was marked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's workable.
Which or?
First or before 8 years. With a line start.
Well, yeah, because I got it circled after related field.
Yeah.
Then after that, it just goes with preference and,
So just like the written, circled and markouts and added. See what I'm saying? Public administration or related field.
because that's when we took out the, that they didn't have, that they had to have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. So we put that in, they had a bachelor.
Right.
Okay.
It's good to me. What you got circled there?
We're going to add that to the list where we got. We've been working.
Right.
Moving on salary range.
Say leave it negotiable, you know? I hate to get pinned down to something.
Everybody good on that?
What's that?
Salary range.
Negotiable.
On what?
I think we can figure out what we want to pay.
Salary range.
Yeah.
Negotiable.
Okay.
So right now, I don't think we even know what for weeks.
Well, I was gonna say that later on, whenever we do budget, we'll have to figure out, yeah, we'll have to figure out,
What's negotiable?
yeah, what are we thinking negotiable is?
We know
'cause-
what negotiable, and the parameters of negotiable is.
Right. So,
That's coming shortly. Budget.
What are we gonna do?
Do y'all want to write in something about a contract? I mean, I think that's important, at least, in your contract.
like what?
A contract, that way if we had the guy, or the woman contracted, and we're not getting what we want, it's a little easier, much easier to let them go.
Like how long?
I'd say an annually
An annual?
renewed contract, or, up on review for the first 6 months, and then we make it annual.
That's a good idea. That's pretty standard in a lot of
I
government jobs.
can't find anything about a contract in any of these, but
We've had it both ways here. contract and no contract, that most of the city administrators or city managers I deal with want at least a 3-year contract. And the reason for that is there's 2-year turnover in the city council. And so if you have one of those and the council comes in and says, you know, we're ready to can this person, you get to buy out that contract, which is what happens. But and I think they're kind of trained to that in little city manager school, to ask for 3 years, because you can have that turnover, somebody come in and just get rid of you. But so having a contract might be a good thing, or just employing manually, I don't know. You guys need to decide that, but I've seen it both ways, and I think if it's going to be in writing, you're going to have a tough time hiring somebody that doesn't get a 3-year offer.
Right, and it also, if we offered, maybe looking at it like that, if we offered 1 year, they might say, well, I'm not going to root up and move, and go somewhere for maybe a year, and then...
Especially when you have an election every year.
Right.
Sometimes they use that contract as an incentive. If you come here and work for a year or 2 years, then after that, we would extend you a 3-year contract. So you got that, if I go there and work for 2 years and everything works out, then I got a job for like 3 years.
Right. So in other words, he's just open for the first couple of years.
Right.
I'll change the format.
Isn't it too late for me to ask a question on qualifications? This is something that I've wanted to address. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Something I'm uncomfortable with is the possession of appropriate valid Texas driver's license. And this is why I say this. Wouldn't it be, or would it be wrong to say dependable transportation? Because with that, you're ruling out a lot of disabled individuals that can't drive but may have reliable transportation. I mean, looking over the job description, I can think of people who would be disabled who could not drive a car, but if they had dependable transportation, why can't they be able to do the job?
That's a good point. Because there are. Could be.
What's your
qualified
opinion on
candidates
that?
Why would I put in
that just don't have a driver's license.
Yeah, in other words, they can't get a driver's
They
license.
got to get to the job.
Have we ever had that?
Did you see that in there?
Another thing too is they may have put that there because if they have to, I don't know. I know that we do a driving record check on the employees that are going to drive the city cars. If they have to go to the bank or if they have to, whatever. I think that's the reason that was there for.
What if you hire a city administrator that wants to drive a city car, you just tell them not until we
Valid
check your driver's license.
Right. So we could easily just take that out.
You can.
I was just curious about that, because that's on every job application you see nowadays. You have to have a driver's license. Well, what about the people that are disabled and can't drive but do have reliable transportation? Just a thought.
But did you see it in here, in this one?
Oh, I was looking through
It's on Somerville.
And
Because this is one that we're going off of, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somerville.
No, this one right here, is this the one that we're,
That's the one that Joey came up with for the responsibilities.
She's just added on to it, coming from the Somerville.
We're just taking a little bit from each one of these.
oh, okay, because I was just adding all to that one. Okay.
So do you want that added in there?
No.
So we can take it out.
I'm more asking y'all's opinion on that, because that's,
I don't think it needs, I don't
It
think
don't have to be in there at all.
in there. If they want to drive
You can say Texas
There's no
driver's license
need.
or a state ID.
I mean, they're going to have to prove
Like
they
I
have
said,
reliable
there's-
transportation, but
There's a lot of things in all of these that are good, and then a lot of them that are just redundant and don't need to be said, but are known, so.
I think it needs to be out. I think it's a good point.
that's just something I've noticed a lot
I
lately
really do.
from other experience.
There are folks that may not have a driver's license that could do the job very well. And that's just a bridge you cross.
Right.
You don't want to drive a car. So where you gotta have a driver's license. You can have an ID card, and a lot of times a driver's license, nothing but for ID.
Right.
Especially if it says
I mean, you look, if you have a disabled veteran or something like that who is perfectly capable of doing the job, but can't drive a car, just something I wanted to bring up.
We're gonna
I
change.
don't understand. Do we want it in there? Is it in there and want it out? I'm sorry. What?
Date's gotta change.
Okay, bear with me for just a minute. It's a little slow. I'm not slow. This is slow.
Some of our costs is if you drive, you see vehicles or
It's a pet peeve of mine.
If it's due to, I don't know how you address it though. That's just something you find out in the interview process, I guess. Just clarification, do we want it in there, or is it in there and we want it out?
I think it's in there, we want it out kind of situation. If we're going off Somerville's.
Yeah, or if it's not in there, just make sure we don't put it in. And like Mr. Jordan said, maybe there might be a reason they don't have a driver's license, but I think during the interview process that
We'll find out.
you would find out, so.
And like he said, you know, before you get in a city-owned vehicle, you know, you're gonna have to produce a driver's license.
Right, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna be a felon
Do that, right?
that's gonna be in here all day long wanting to work with the chief, so.
They're gonna require.
You know, if it was a police officer position. But there's a lot of jobs that's
Yes.
put in on now that
Fill out the driver's
necessarily a
license
requirement.
So send it in and get it back before they come.
And like I said, we can't possibly foresee everything we'd like to put in here. But
So, it won't be a requirement.
now, this is basically just for the requirements for sending out for an application. This is basically not changing, or the requirements to go in the policy manual.
Yeah, this is just for job posting, was my understanding.
Right.
Basically.
So once we do get this, we're going to need to update the policy manual, I guess, to create the position. Right? Now, is that something we need to do before we go out for?
You can update that policy manual anytime you want.
I
Change that sucker.
I didn't know if we could hire someone for something that didn't exist.
It is always a work in
It's like
progress.
Lazarus, it just keeps rising up.
We need them to redo it this time.
Of course, you understand it's a 2 or 3 year project once you start it. But
Get
after
them to do
that,
it.
it's just a lot of fun.
That's what they hired to do.
No, you don't have to do that. You can stick it in there later on. And when you interview, you can give somebody the job description that they ask for it. You can send it to them. To y'all approved it. We done it? We good?
That's why it's on there. Me either, I got homework.
You took a couple semesters off.
I moved to adjourn.
I second.
This meeting's adjourned. 7:30 PM.